Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and another week of what's for dinner ideas. Today I'm going to be using my crock pot and I'm going to be making a roast. And so I have this Crockpot Roast and a bowl of carrots and red potatoes. I already cut these all up. The carrots are down at the bottom. And then this is going to be the sauce that I use. I talk about this a lot of times, and it's just a brown gravy packet, a buttermilk ranch packet, and Italian seasoning, and then I'm going to mix that with about a half a cup to a cup of water and pour it over everything in my crock pot. When I went to Walmart, they were out, or I couldn't find the crock pot liners, so I'm just going to be unfortunately using it without one today, but it'll be fine. I'm just going to pour these over the top of this. So now I just put some water in this jar. I would say it's about 3/4 to a fourth. And I'm just going to dump these packets in it, mix them together, and then it just pours over the top. Now I'm just going to put my lid on it, set it to low, and turn it on for 8 hours, and dinner will be ready. Okay, so it is exactly 6 o'clock. This has been in here for about 6.5 hours, I would say, or 7 hours. I'm not exactly sure what time I put it in, 11 maybe. But I took the roast out and I just trimmed off all the fat. I do not like to just shred it in here or cut it in here and leave all of this. I can't. Ugh, gross. So it depends on what cut of meat you get, but sometimes you can just shred it up. I must have got the one. I know there's like chuck roast and there's different ones, and the one with the more fat on it I thought was the one I could pull apart, but this one I could not really pull it apart, but I did slice it up. It tastes amazing. I'm just going to put it back in the crock pot with the carrots and potatoes, and then I'm going to serve it up in a bowl. Okay, so for dinner tonight I'm going to be making some chili gravy enchiladas, and if you've ever had them, you know that it's like authentic Tex-Mex. It's so much better than canned enchilada sauce. But in my family, I think I'm the only one that really likes them. So I'm making everybody else salmon burgers tonight, but I'm making chili gravy enchiladas because I love them. And I just cut up a bell pepper and onion, and I'm just browning this in some oil, and that's probably ready to be turned off now. So turn that off. And in this pan I'm going to heat 1/4 of a cup of oil and 1/4 of a cup of flour and make a roux. I do have a house full of people tonight, so you're probably going to hear extra noise, but it's just the way it is. It's summertime and there's a lot of people over here. So I'm just going to heat this up. I need to turn it on, don't I? And cook this just a couple of minutes until it starts to brown a little bit. Okay, so now that this has turned a little light tan color, it's been a couple minutes, probably 5 minutes, I'm going to take my spices and add these to them. So this is a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon paprika, 1 teaspoon dried oregano. And I'll link all this down below, or I'll type this out for you so that you will know the exact measurements. But this is actually what makes the sauce so delicious. So you're just going to add that in and cook it for just a minute or so. I'm going to lower my heat a little bit, and then I'm going to add in 2 cups of beef stock. This is just beef bouillon that I dissolved in 2 cups of hot water. And I'm just going to let this cook until it thickens. It's not going to be super thick, but it should like coat the spoon when it's ready. Okay, so it's probably been about 6 or 7 minutes, and it's boiling a little bit, and I just want to show you, see how it coats the spoon, but it's not real thick. So I'm going to remove this from the heat. Okay, so now I'm going to get my tortillas ready. I have these white corn tortillas. You can use yellow corn, it doesn't matter. And I have this tortilla warmer that I'm going to use in my microwave. You can take these and you can put a little oil in a pan and dip them in for a few seconds just to make them soft, or you can put them in a tortilla warmer, or you could actually just wrap them in a wet paper towel and put them in your microwave. That works too. But I've just always used this. It makes them a lot easier to roll the enchiladas up. So I'm just going to fill this up, and then I take a wet paper towel and I lay it on top of them when I stick it in the microwave, and I stick it in for 1 minute, and then they're perfectly soft. Okay, so now it's time to assemble the enchiladas. I took this out of the microwave and it's steamy, and these are much easier to fill now. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a couple spoonfuls of the gravy in the bottom of this pan. And then I'm just going to assemble them with, you could put meat in these, but I've made them both ways, and I just prefer them with the cheddar cheese. And then this is my onions and green peppers, and this is optional, but I like them with that. And then just roll them up, put them seam side down. Now I'm just going to pour the chili sauce over, or the chili gravy over the enchiladas without burning myself. And you want to make sure that the tortillas are all coated in it, because you don't want them to get hard. And then after that, I reserved some of the onions and peppers when I cut them up at the beginning. Plus I have some left over that I was putting on the inside, and I just like to sprinkle these on top. This gives it extra flavor, and of course this is optional. And then I'm going to sprinkle the rest of my cheese on top of this. This was probably about 2 cups of cheese shredded when I started. And now it's ready to go in the oven. I'm going to cook it for 400 for about 15 to 20 minutes, just until the cheese is melted and bubbly. So here are the enchiladas out of the oven, and they look amazing, and they're going to taste amazing. Tonight I was a short order cook because my brother's here. I have a housewife of like 8 people, and everybody has different stuff, so I made some fruit and some salad. Even though I really wanted some Mexican rice with my enchiladas, I was good, and I made a salad. And then these are some salmon burgers that I got from Sam's, and that is what everybody else is going to have. And then Jackson and his friend Jonathan are going to have some French bread pizza. So that is dinner tonight. Okay guys, tonight we're going to have breakfast for dinner. So that is a little mouse toy of my cat's that keeps going off if you hear it. But I am doing some turkey bacon, and I'm doing it the easy way, just putting it in the oven like this. So I've preheated my oven to 350, and I'm going to stick this in. Okay, so with our dinner tonight, we're going to have some pancakes, and I'm going to show you this 4-berry medley, I don't know what you call it, compote, that's what I call it, but it's the topping that I put on pancakes instead of syrup, and it is literally amazing. I could eat it with a spoon, it's so good. So this is what I use, just the Great Value berry medley, and I'm going to go ahead and start this because this does take a while to cook. Okay, so I'm just going to dump this whole bag in this pan. And I'm going to take about a ½ cup of sugar and put that on top. And then I'm going to put this on medium heat until it boils, and then I'm just going to lower the heat a little bit and let it simmer, or let it cook on low until it reduces down and it makes it like a syrup. And then back here I also have some sausage links. These are fully cooked. This is the banquet brown and serve. And I'm gonna go ahead, I put some water in the pan and I'm gonna go ahead and boil that. They're fully cooked, but they just have to be warmed through. And then I'm gonna start on my pancakes. I'm just using this Aunt Jemima complete pancake mix and I'm just following the instructions on the box.
Who would you say is the best Spider-Man?
Okay, so my berries are boiling now and I'm gonna let them boil for a little while just to reduce it down, but I have to watch, make sure they don't burn. But I've not added any water to this. This is just the water from the berries. They're frozen, so I used to add water to it and then I realized I didn't need to because they're frozen, so there's so much moisture in them already. So I'm just gonna cook this down. It probably takes around 20 minutes or so, but I'll let you know at the end how long it took. Okay, so this has been about 10 to, well, it's probably been about 15 minutes since it started to boil, and I just turned it off the heat and you can see how thick it is. I like to use this flat wooden spoon just to keep the bottom from sticking so I can easily go across it like that. But now I'm just going to let it cool a little bit, and then when everything is ready it'll be perfect to pour over my pancakes. So now I'm just going to make some eggs and then dinner will be ready. Okay guys, so tonight we are going to be having some pepper jack chicken for dinner. And I have shown this recipe before on my channel, but I did make it a little different this time and I prefer it this way. I've made it two different ways, one with onion and bell pepper and then one with green chilies. And I definitely recommend the one with the green chilies. It's just so much more flavorful. So this morning I just put in 2 frozen chicken breasts and let them cook on low heat all day. And then I just took them out and shredded them. They're very lean. There was not a lot to throw out. But I like to drain the juices because just a preference. It kind of grosses me out. A lot of people like the juices because it makes it moist, but I prefer to drain the juices. And then I put the chicken back in the crock pot and I'm going to add, this is probably a good 2 cups of pepper jack cheese. And I have 1 can of green chilies. So I'm going to add this with the juices on top of the chicken first. And then I'm just going to add this pepper jack cheese, and I always think I won't use it all, but I end up using it all. And it is so delicious with all the cheese. So it's super, super simple. It's low carb, and I'm going to turn this back on low or keep warm, I'm not sure. Probably just, I'm kind of in a rush, so I'll probably put it on low, let it cook for, it takes about 15-20 minutes until the cheese is melted enough, and then I can serve this on corn tortillas or just in a bowl by itself if I don't want to have the carbs. So just going to put the lid back on and set it to low. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes and the cheese is probably not completely melted, but I'm kind of in a rush. I got to get Jackson to a birthday party. So I'm just going to go ahead and take some out now. And you can, like I said, put this in a tortilla. I like to put it in a corn tortilla, or you can just put it in a flour tortilla, but I prefer corn. But I think tonight I'm just going to eat it like this, because that way, because I am watching my carbs. And this is so flavorful. It doesn't take much. If you want to put salt and pepper in it, you can. Like I've said before, I'm trying to watch my salt, so the cheese and the peppers, I think, give it enough of a salty flavor. So anyways, that is what's for dinner tonight, some pepper jack chicken. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope that you've got some ideas, and give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.